why you need a separate business bank account before it becomes a problem. If you're using your personal bank account for your business, you are absolutely putting your personal assets at risk, whether you realize it or not. Let me explain why. Hey, I'm Peter Fider, CPA and founder of Meeple Accounting, where we help property management companies eliminate trust accounting risk through clean bookkeeping systems. Let's get started. And I get it. When you're starting out, it feels easier. One account, one card, everything in one place. See, but what feels simple now turns into a huge problem later. Huge. And there are two big reasons for that: the legal protection and taxes. If you have an LLC, one of the main benefits is liability protection. It separates you from your business. If something goes wrong in your business, your personal assets are supposed to be protected. But that protection only works if you treat your business like a real business. There's something called piercing the corporate veil, or in this scenario, piercing the LLC veil. That's when a court basically says, listen, you didn't treat this like a separate business, so we're not going to either. And one of the biggest reasons that happens is mixing personal and business money. Let's say you have an LLC, but you're paying personal groceries from that business account, paying business's expenses from your personal account, moving money back and forth with no structure. Now your business doesn't look separate anymore. It looks like it's just you. There's no separation. And if that happens in a lawsuit, oh God, they will go after your personal assets. So that LLC you set up for protection, you just weakened it. It's now useless. I love saying that word, useless. Now let's talk about taxes, because this is where a lot of people don't realize the risk. The IRS doesn't just care what you spend money on. They care if you can prove it was for a business expense. And this is where mixing accounts becomes a problem. When your business and personal transactions are all in the same account, you lose clarity. So even if something is a legitimate business expense, if it's buried inside a bunch of personal transactions, it becomes harder to support. And if you can't clearly support it, there's a real risk it gets treated as personal. No more business deductions. Think about what the IRS sees. This is important. They're looking at your account and they see personal groceries, Amazon purchases, gas, Netflix, business expenses, Hulu subscription, everything mixed in together. I mean, that's very confusing. There's no clean separation. So now every transaction becomes a question mark. You now have to explain each expense, show receipts, prove the business purpose, reconstruct what happened. And that's just a whole lot of mess you really don't want to deal with. And even if you're right, if your documentation is weak, you've made your life a lot harder than it needs to be. Let's say you bought supplies for your business. That's a real business expense, but it's sitting in your personal account, mixed in with groceries and everything else. That's not good. Now you have to prove that one transaction was business. And if you don't have clean records, you're relying on memory. And that's not where you want to be. You don't, I promise you that. When you have a separate business account, that transaction is already where it belongs. It's clearly business. So one business bank account, one personal. Keep it separate. You're not just making bookkeeping easier, you're making your tax position stronger. This doesn't stop at your bank account. You should also have a separate, ding, 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 business credit card. Why? Same idea. Separation and clarity. Business spending, one place. Easier tracking, cleaner reports, less stress. Say it with me. Separate business credit card versus personal, okay? You open your business statement and you already know this is all business. Let me say this clearly. This isn't just about being organized. This is about protecting yourself and making your life easier. I've seen people come in with completely mixed accounts. And now we're going through months, sometimes even years, trying to untangle everything. Guess what? And that cleanup is a much more expensive expense than getting it right the first time. And this ties directly into something I talked about in another video. Can I write it off? Go watch that. It's a good video. And once you watch that, it will definitely help you figure out what's business versus personal. It talks about what exactly or actually counts as a business expense, because if your accounts aren't separated, that gets even harder to figure out. If you don't have separate accounts, yet here's your next step. Number one, open a business bank account. That's easy. Get a business credit card. Start using them only for business. Simple change, big impact. If you found this helpful and want more content like this, it would really mean a lot to me if you like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. This is Peter Freider. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next one.